Hello, good morning to you, and many thanks for joining us on Galaxy today, this Monday. It's the first edition for this week. My name is Justin Akadonia.
And he's joined by Uche Onyekuche. It's good to have you right here on Monday, and of course, it's the 16th of April 2018, where we'll be looking at Buhari's scorecard so far, and of course, people's reactions to Buhari's re-election bid, right, Justin?
Yes, that's our focus for today. When this present dispensation came on board in 2015, they hammered on some basic thrust, being fighting corruption, the fight against Boko Haram, and of course other security threats in the country. So far, how has this administration fared? Are they achieving so much, in your opinion? If you have a comment, if you have a question, if you just have one form of contribution or the other, feel free to do so. We'll give you an opportunity to do that much later in the show. Or display a number you can send an SMS to. Of course, you can also interact with us via our various social media platforms using the hashtag Galaxy. Today we have a guest here in Lagos, although we're still expecting another guest, but we'll just take a quick break and just sample reactions concerning the President's declaration to contest for 2019. We'll be right back. Do join us again.
And as part of democratic culture, traditionally presidents have the right of first refusal of the candidature of their party. So it's not something that is unusual or unwarranted or unconstitutional. He has done the right thing, he's going to contest, and we are solidly, fully behind him. He's not under any obligation to consult governors or anybody. He has been under tremendous pressure to make that pronouncement. So we should heave a sigh of relief since he has finally announced his intention to contest. We will give him the support we gave him in 2015, most certainly. Certainly it is not distracting government, it will even calm down governance so that people will concentrate on the real act of governance and delivering the dividends of democracy to our people. Certainly, he is the single kinetic presence in Nigeria's political life. He is the man to beat.
It is APC, and today, as you can see, the atmosphere in the great party. You just talked of crisis. To what you see and what we are seeing, that is not it. That shows unity and diversity. You can even see it from statements. You can see it from people's bold smiles. That sky knows, is no bound to our joy today that Mr. President, our own president, has declared finally that he will be in the race. And we are ready, solidly, and the women are behind him. And so the party. The chances? Oh no, we need not blow our trumpets. You know it. The chances very wide because Nigeria knows that there is indeed the change and we've experienced it.
The governor of Sokoto State, the governor of Adamawa.
There's never been a country where corruption has been totally eliminated. But the level of corruption we are in is unmanageable, unacceptable, unbearable. We have to continue minimizing it. The same with the economy. There has never been a time when any country has said they have solved their economic problems, so they are going to sleep. It's a continuous thing, and it's going to continue forever. But what is important is what he has done so far, the way he tackled it, the way he's tackling it, the way he's confronting it, is the right way, so he should continue.
I do not think they are not serious, okay? It is because there are clear analysis of this current government and what he has done so far. For people to come out and say, no, we must be beginning to look at something else. You follow what I'm saying? So we are looking at how other political parties will firm up with other neutral persons in this country to let them off completely and give us a new lease of life. Yeah.
right, welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's Galaxy today, and we are extracting the President's Dispensation scorecard. How well or how badly have they performed so far? We have a guest here in Lagos, and we'll be kicking the discussion off from here.
Yes, we have a guest in the studio, and that's a person of Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce, Director and Admin Strategy, SDP West. Good morning,
Southwest,
sir.
yes.
Good morning. To have you in Galaxy today. Okay, the president last week, exactly a week ago, he made a declaration that he will be re-elected for 2019, and a whole lot of people are having mixed feelings about this. People feel, so to some people he shouldn't, while to some others he should. By your own opinion, would you suggest, or what would you rather say to this whole thing?
Well, the president certainly has the legal right to run. This is a democracy, but I think he has no moral right to run. Okay. What I mean by that is that for the last 3 years, he has failed this nation so woefully. He has kept none of his promises. It is obvious that he's not a well man. He's an old man, an ailing old man. I don't know why he wants to run again, but if he runs, he'll certainly lose. Because if you look at his performance so far, talking about scorecard, we start with the economy. Our economy is in shambles. Direct foreign investment has never been so low. The stock market basically collapsed when he decided he was going to run. We lost about 150 billion naira on that day that the president declared his interest in running his second term. It shows you clearly that if Buhari is going one way, the economy is going the other way. And so the stock market has collapsed. GDP is lowest in 25 years in this country. Inflation was at 18%. Now it's gone down a little bit at 14%. Inflation is still very high in Nigeria. The currency, the naira, has never been as low as this in the history of Nigeria. 360, 350 to the dollar. And if all of this sounds like just theory, we all know it in our pockets. Because what this means is that your naira can buy much less than it used to. Okay. Staple food, gari that we all use, we all depend on, used to be 150 naira per derrick, I think it was, 180. But that same quantity of gari is 600 naira now. Okay. So these are indications that transportation has gone up. I mean, everything is on the rise. The only thing that is on the low is productivity. And this nation has been really disappointed.
Okay, so just before you continue, before we keep on analyzing other sectors of the economy, let us take a quick break. It's still Galaxy today, and we're looking at this President's Dispensation, their scorecard. How well have they performed, or how badly, in your own opinion? We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by yet another guest. Stay with us.
And as part of democratic culture, traditionally presidents have the right of first refusal of the candidature of their party. So it's not something that is unusual or unwarranted or unconstitutional. He has done the right thing, he's going to contest, and we are solidly, fully behind him. He's not under any obligation to consult governors or anybody. He has been under tremendous pressure to make that pronouncement. So we should heave a sigh of relief since he has finally announced his intention to contest. We will give him the support we gave him in 2015, most certainly. Certainly it is not distracting government, it will even calm down governance so that people will concentrate on the real act of governance and delivering the dividends of democracy to our people. Certainly, he is the single kinetic presence in Nigeria's political life. He is the man to beat.
It is APC. And today, as you can see, the atmosphere in the great party. You just talked of crisis. to what you see and what we are seeing, that is not it. That shows unity in diversity. You can even see it from statements. You can see it from people's bold smiles. That sky knows, is no bound to our joy today that Mr. President, our own president, has declared finally that he will be in the race.
All right, welcome back. It's still Galaxy today. You just heard reactions from a cross-section of Nigerians talking about the president's re-election bid. It's still Galaxy today. We are joined by yet another guest. We have Right Honorable Adeyemi Ikufuruji. He is the former Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Many thanks for joining us, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, let's just continue from where you stopped before we went on the break. You were trying to analyze how far this present dispensation has fared as regards the economy. Can you continue, please?
The economy is in total disarray. The cost of living has never been so high. The quality of life has never been so low. As I said before, the Naira is the lowest it's ever been in the history of this country, and it's reflected in the cost of living. You find that the basic staple food is gone up 400% in cost. Transportation is gone up 100%. Everything is expensive. The economy is collapsed. That's the point on the economy. And of course, if you talk about security, Nigerians have never been less secure than in this administration. If you look at the Southeast, there's IPOB, there's MASOB, there's all of this chaos going on. South-South, there's disarray. In the whole of the Northeast, Boko Haram was technically conquered, but now we know that Boko Haram is still well and alive. Now you have the headsmen all over the place. The point I'm making is that this administration has failed Nigerians and everybody knows it. Okay. Governance is a problem. The president has shown through his appointments that he is very ethnocentric. He has been the president of northern Nigeria and not the whole of Nigeria.
Okay, let us just first.
His own statements have confirmed it. When he got into office, one of the things he said within the first month, asked the question how he will govern such a multi-ethnic country, he said, my interest is for people who voted 97% for me, and that's what he has done in his appointments. He has appointed people who voted 97% for him. Those are people from the north, and therefore he has failed Nigeria.
All right, Dr. Pierce, we'll get back to you in a bit, but let's talk to Honorable Ikufuruji. In your opinion, do you think this present dispensation has done fairly well to deserve to get a second term?
Thank you very much. I don't want to go the way of statistics like Doctor has done. I want us to come down to the level of the ordinary man. Truly, times are hard, but if your child gains admission to Harvard, it's definitely not the work of one day. You probably prepare that child from the very elementary to a good secondary, and he had a good results, GCE, O level, A level, whatsoever, before he could actually make it to those Ivy League schools.
Okay.
It is not done anywhere. There is no country in the world where the economy is turned around in few minutes. Okay. This present administration, without missing words, inherited a very horrible economy. And when you are in such a downward slope, it takes time to give it a break and to start pushing it up. I am not here to defend the president.
Okay.
The president is our president. I don't want to know whether you belong to one party or the other. The honest truth is, when a man is voted in as president, he's president of Nigeria. The idea of his cabinet and this and that, some of those things are party things. But of course, we also know that this same president who is tagged the president of the North. He has his finance minister from the Southwest. He has a minister who has 3 ministries all together from the Southwest. You know, he has not probably done it to our satisfaction. But that he has not done anything, let's throw it aside. Okay, we know what some of the key players, somebody like former governor of Central Bank, he said it clearly in 2015 that anybody who is going to inherit the government of this nation is going to find it impossible.
Okay, we'll come back to you, but let's just take more reactions now from Abuja and see if they are agreeing or disagreeing with this present dispensation. We're being joined by the former governor of Anambra State, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezefe. Many thanks for joining us on Galaxy today. Now, Chief, we are looking at this president's dispensation scorecard and, of course, the bids that we contest for the next term come 2019. In your opinion, how fairly have they done or how badly have they performed?
Well, there has been outpouring of reactions, and most of those from serious persons are mostly negative. Somebody in the social media has compiled a list of reactions from more than 20 different sources. The controlling class of military retired generals, religious leaders, old politicians, serving politicians, etc. Reasons for the condemnation of the declaration and the advice that the president should forget the idea of second term include failed promises, steep decline in the Nigerian economy, leading to vastly increased hardship. Some people chose instant suicide, like jumping into the ocean, risking almost sure death by hazardous and desperate attempt to escape to Europe. Insecurity and massive blood flow, hopelessness, many other aspects of failure of government and country, etc. We can say, is it on?
I can hear you.
That there is massive political noise against Buhari's declaration for second term. One of the greatest and most numbing fears is that taking the present state of affairs and happenings as indications of the future, Nigeria may go into extinction, close to even the beginning of the second term. One of the greatest and most numbing fears is Nigeria continued existence under a second term. Another serious reason for objecting to a second term is the health situation of the president. But something approaching a miracle appears to be reducing the concern from this. There is also the issue of age, especially as the present alertness of the president is sometimes in doubt. I share the fears and views of those who oppose the second term, and I wonder that the second term can come from the mind of the president. Even if he does, fellow Nigerians, let us take the most effective course of action to deal with the problem, let us run to God, who created the heavens and earth. We read that the minds of the kings are in the hands of God. So Buhari's mind must be in the hands of God. Let us pray God to manage or manipulate the hands of Buhari to realize the unreasonableness and dangers of this second term. Let Buhari's mind ruthlessly or resolutely reject the idea, whatever the pressures from those who have selfish interests in using him further. But we should remember that God allowed Buhari to take over the presidency of Nigeria. And God works in mysterious ways. How can we know that what Buhari has done, like bringing Nigeria down so low down, socially and economically, was not in fulfillment of an assignment, or that what looks like a division of Nigeria into two, induced by the actions of Mieti Allah and other possible Islamists, was not a design he had to implement? Who knows the mind of God? Our best action is to do what is in the power of man and pray God to let his will be done. Of course, from heaven, we do not expect God to come down with the AK-47 to come and defend us and defend his people. But God will cause them to be defended if he so wills. Nigeria and Nigerians must go on their knees back to God.
Of course, there were reports or some information got down to us then that before this present government took over, the economy was already going into recession. It's just that, I mean, according to report, that is a coincidence that it happened during this administration. Do you not think that even if the present administration was not in the seat of power, it could have happened to any other administration? So the question now is, do you not think that the current state of things is not because of the current administration? It's actually, would I say, a backlog of what was meant to happen? And so probably seeking a second term could be a way to work things out. Just my opinion, I'm asking though. Do you not think? Okay,
I don't understand you. I don't hear you very well. But I got some of the points you made. Nigerians are always looking for places, people to blame. Lai Mohammed and all the APC people have always been blaming PDP for their 16 years in office. But who is APC? Who is PDP? The same people who were in PDP moved into APC. What's the difference? Indeed, neither PDP nor APC nor any existing party that has no special provision should be given Nigeria to rule. The country has been ruined by corruption, and we cannot hand it over to any group that has no answer to corruption. I happen to know that there's one group in the country which has a design to eliminate corruption and create a new Nigeria. I think we should give up this idea of going back to blame people. If you take over a government, you start from then to improve what you took over, not to make it deteriorate. All the promises made by APC, none of them have been implemented. How much is dollar in naira? We were promised $1, 1 naira. Petrol price, rice. People are dying of hunger. The number of deaths since this government came to power has been very abnormal. People are dying everywhere. Burial every weekend. So please, God is in charge. I believe Buhari may be doing God's will. But we pray God to favor Nigeria a bit and give us, if it is a changed Buhari or somebody else who can run this country, and the people will benefit. Thank you.
Right, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezefe. He is the former Anambra State Governor. Many thanks for sharing your thoughts concerning how far this dispensation has performed.
Okay, so you heard what the former Anambra State Governor said. Let's hear from you, Honorable Ikufuruji. What's your reaction to what he just said?
You know, I mean, everyone has the right to his or her opinion in a democracy. But to say, forget about the past, forget about what this person did, and we just want to move forward, we don't want to refer. It's the type of thing that we see. It's everywhere. Look, you look at a place like the US, some of us who were following, we know what happened before Barack Obama took office and the immediate recession at the period that he took office. And we know how hard he worked to get US out of that recession, and then the growth started coming. Some of the results we're seeing today in the US economy, which of course Big Brother Trump now claims to be his work, even within few days in office. It's not true. It's the work of the previous administration. And whether it is to the good side or to the bad side, it's all the same. What happened before now cannot be set aside and we just talking it. Look, I'm saying it again. I have my own ideas about this whole thing. Well, Elder Ezefe was also a governor, and those who were even criticizing Mr. President the most today, they were there one time or the other. If each and every one had done it right, Nigeria should not be where it is. And I think it is high time the youthful Nigeria really gets its acts together. With a situation where the key player and the key critics are in their late 70s and in the 80s. There is no economy anywhere in the world
So in fact, what you're saying is that this present dispensation might not necessarily do too well because the president's age is not favorable to...
Look,